Hello everyone, I'm Nathan and welcome back to another game of Age of Empires 2, and I'm very excited about this because this is a really cool game. We have got two absolute tyrants, literally tyrants of Age of Empires 2. These two guys are both from the Tyrant team, and we have the one, the only, the Viper, playing is in yellow as Goth, and he's up against his fellow teammate, or opponent in this case, BacT, Tyrant BacT. And yeah, as Ruby just said there very helpfully, these two guys are very top rated indeed. Viper currently ranked #1 on the RM leaderboards, and BacT is just second to him. So these two guys are going to be very, very good indeed together, and they're against each other. So they should be pretty neck and neck, and you know, this will be a very interesting game indeed. Not only that, but these two guys are not playing as the Huns, they're playing as the Goths. And that's a really great civilization to be playing as for Arabia, definitely, I think. Because the Goths are just so powerful. They are just so powerful. From the early Dark Age to the post-Imperial Age, they're just absolutely beast. And I can tell you why. That's just because the Goths, their infantry is just absolutely insanely powerful. It gets even more powerful as you advance through the ages, so they just get more powerful as you go from feudal to castle to imperial. And once you're in imperial, you just cannot doubt the Goth flood. It's just absolutely great. My voice is kind of slightly hoarse, so I do apologise if my voice sounds a bit strange today. I don't know why. I should probably drink a bit more water. That would be very useful indeed. But for now, Viper looks like he has got a very, very interesting map. His gold location is very great for him. It's at the back, which is always a nice place for your gold to be. And since he's playing as the Goths, he will likely to be getting out a castle in the castle age. So his gold, stone even, is right here, which is not a bad place to be in either. On the other hand, Viper's map is looking kind of open, but you know, the Viper is a very aggressive sort of player. He likes to play aggressively, and that means he doesn't like to wall at all. I suppose he may want to wall with his military buildings, but that's just how everyone does it. So, I don't know. But I don't think he will definitely not wall. And especially playing as Goths, because the Goths don't have any walls at all. They don't have stone walls. They have palisades, but that's all they've got. Meanwhile, down to BacT's base, well, he's got a pretty interesting location as well. He has got a pretty bad map, actually. His gold is in a very, very bad position, as you can see here. It's just on this hill, on the side of this hill, which is not great. It would have been better if this gold location was on the top, this gold pile, because at least it would be on flat land. But this just makes it really awkward for villagers to gather from this gold pile. It's just not efficient at all. On the other hand, his map is looking very open indeed, especially on the front, especially to the side as well. And apart from that, his only saving grace is the fact that he's got... Well, there is no saving grace actually. His map looks fairly bad. This is a map which you don't want to have when you're playing Green Arabia. And... no, it's not. But he does have these 4 villages onto wood, which means that he will be going for a drush, a barracks drop, and that's very good as the Goths, because you really want to be getting that early pressure. You really want to utilise on that good infantry, and you may even want to invest in man-at-arms, which is obviously going to be a very good option playing as the Goths. And Viper might just lose his scout there. Ooh, that's very close indeed. Oh, no, he's not going to lose it. But that was pretty close, and Viper knows that... He knows that BacT is actually luring deer, and that's interesting, because it gives us an indication that he might be deciding to go for some sort of a drush to fast castle. That's quite a popular choice to go with, especially when you're playing as the Goths, I believe. And barracks going down right here, and Viper, however, Viper's going with the barracks of his own. And that's maybe due to the fact that he wants to go for a drush as well. It might be because that he's seen BacT's barracks as well. We don't know for sure. Well, we can actually know. Oh, intriguing. He doesn't know actually that there's a barracks here, but I think he probably will assume that anyway, since BacT is playing as Goths as well. So what he thinks is probably going to be what BacT thinks as well, especially in this early age. However, BacT is going up to the feudal age, and Viper's just clicked up just behind him as well. And meanwhile, both these guys are going to be getting some gold, which is obviously very, very good when you're spending gold on militia, which is what both these guys are going to be doing, or have done. Well, no, what they're going to be doing. And, you know, if you're playing as Goths, in the late Imperial Age, the only two resources which you really need are food and... I say really need. You need food and you need... I suppose you need wood. Gold is pretty important, but food is key for the Goths. You really need to get that food production going if you are going to be going into the Imperial Age. Because food is just so important, and you just really need it to support all your infantry. And BacT just need a bit more. He just needs to create a bit more militia, I think. Meanwhile, the Viper, I don't know what the Viper is doing. Oh, excuse me. He's not actually creating any militia right now. I don't know why. Maybe he wants to get... I don't know. It's strange. Maybe he wants to go for archers. It might be a good choice, especially if BacT is going to go with militia, then maybe man-at-arms. Of course, archers do beat man-at-arms, but only if there's enough of them. And, well, Viper's making militia. That's very expected. A bit late, I have to say, but still pretty expected. And both these guys are going for militia. BacT putting down a forward, well, archer range right here, and that gives us a sign that he will be transferring into archers fairly quickly, I have to say. Meanwhile, the Viper looks like he will be getting the man-at-arms upgrade, actually. Yeah, he is going to be creating a lot of militia, probably 4 or maybe even 5 militia, and that will be great for him. 5 militia plus a man-at-arms upgrade. That's going to be a really good choice for him to do, because obviously man-at-arms can actually kill villagers one-on-one, which is always great. BacT only sending 2 man-at-arms out though. He's researched the man-at-arms upgrade, but he does not have any more militia, which I think is kind of a mistake. I think you really need to get some more units out. 2 will not do enough damage at all, and although he does have a scout here to support them, I don't think they'll be able to do much damage. Especially when there's 5 militia, soon to be man-at-arms, and that's not going to be great for him. But he might do some damage, I don't know for sure, and both these guys don't have the upgrades because they don't have any blacksmiths yet, but that's fine for now. And looks like BacT is going to try to head off, or try to just go for some other direction of attack. He might go for the berries, that's always a great position to go for, but Viper's coming to pursue, and this is not going to be looking great for BacT. He might not lose a few villagers, but he certainly is being disrupted by BacT, definitely. But the Viper's coming in here with his man-at-arms, possibly going to be destroying these militia man-at-arms of BacT very quickly indeed. And Viper just hasn't done, I mean the BacT just hasn't done the damage he needed to do. He almost took down a villager, but that was 2 villagers in fact. They were so low, my god. And it's pretty close from here. And BacT though, kind of failed. It's unlucky that he didn't manage to kill these guys off. That would have been amazing for him. He could have actually managed to pick those 2 off, but never mind. That was pretty close anyway. And it's funny because BacT is on 34 population, the Viper on 36. If you manage to kill those 2, actually kill those 2 villagers, then they would be on absolutely identical population. But there you go, watchtower coming up for BacT. I didn't even notice that, but that was pretty interesting. I think that he may have wanted to try do some damage on this gold and this wood, but he hasn't really done that much damage. He tried to, but it didn't really work out because, as you can see here, these man-at-arms are just pounding away at this watchtower. Of course, as we all know, infantry do, the disbanded infantry do a attack bonus against any buildings, which is always a great thing to do. It's great. Yeah, it's great. And well, BacT just isn't really doing that much damage. Although he's trying to come in here to do some damage, it looks like Viper's actually managed to repel him very nicely indeed. But 2 archers isn't really going to do a whole lot at all. They might even get picked off by villagers, and that's definitely not great for him. These 2 archers are very low indeed. They might try to pick off some villagers, but you know, it might take some time. And he's being chased down by these skirmishers. He's going to get boxed in here, and Viper's going to take down these archers very quickly indeed. Nice play by the Viper. Going to take down these archers very quickly. And there we go. And meanwhile, both these players still looking to do some feudal pressure, it seems. Viper's still creating skirmishes, and still creating man-at-arms as well, which is very cool indeed. Because BacT is just going all out on skirmishes. And skirmishes are alright against archers, but they don't do very much damage against man-at-arms, that's for sure. I think they only do 2 damage to an unupgraded man-at-arms, and since there are no upgrades in these man-at-arms, 2 damage it is. And oh dear, Viper's going, wow. Viper had that scout on stand ground, which is always not so great. But you know, that's just the default setting for your scout. And you might always have to change that default setting, or you will eventually lose your scout if it's just not positioned correctly. And oh, it's funny. BacT has just managed to wall his own villager in, and meanwhile we've got this at the front here. BacT trying to get some damage done, but he's going to head off right away right now, and he really hasn't managed to do that much. Although I do like his style of play. He's been very aggressive, and that's exactly why. That's exactly what BacT wants him to be in, because Viper's obviously trying to be on the aggressive, but since BacT is on the offensive, then that's going to be great for him, because Viper's going to be at the defensive, and that's always great news. Meanwhile, both these players are still in the feudal age. Nobody's managed to click up at all. I'm not surprised about that. But I do think that one of them should actually add some scouts in, just to deal with these skirmishes. There's so many skirmishes from the Viper, it's absolutely insane. And it's not going to be wise for BacT to try and engage in this. Even though he has a numbers advantage and the head advantage, it's not going to be wise. He will probably lose some of archers, which is always not so great, because archers are gold units. And you don't want to lose gold units to trash. That's the #1 rule of Age of Empires 2. No, it's not. At the moment, though, Viper still creating some more units. Both these guys, well, they're not so far away from. Well, Viper's not very far away from the castle age at all. She just needs a bit more food. That's all he needs. But BacT is coming in here again. And these man-at-arms are just completely battering their way on this house. I'm not going to do a whole lot of damage. Don't think they'll be able to get in there anytime soon. But BacT is going to head forwards down here anyway to try and deal with this man-at-arms. And I feel like that's a mistake, because I'm pretty sure that one villager can easily repair and build things behind and just keep the man-at-arms at bay, while BacT can go in and do some more damage, which is always something which he really wants to do. And wow, I just noticed this, a house from BacT right here on this gold here. Looks like he was trying to lame the Viper's gold, and that's always great. Laming is part of the game. Oh, very nice, double kill right there. That was very cool indeed. That's not what you usually expect in Age of Empires 2. Yeah. But at the moment, looks like Viper. Oh no, looks like Viper actually managed to spend lots of resource all of a sudden, and BacT will be going up to the castle age very quickly indeed. But the Viper has got a huge army of militia, oh my god. He's got a huge army of skirmishers and archers, which is quite frightening actually. It's very frightening indeed. And wow, very nice indeed. Dealing with that man-at-arms army very, very efficiently indeed. But the Viper is in, kind of, and he's managed to push BacT off gold, stone even, and that's not great for him because that does mean that he won't be able to get that castle up in the castle age in order to create those all-important Huskars, just to deal with all of these archer units. I suspect that one Huskar can probably be able to take down all of these units, and that's how important gold is. That's how important the castle is for a Goth player. BacT getting up to the castle age, the Viper's actually ahead, actually, which is very interesting because I swear I saw that Viper had less resource earlier on. But no, apparently has more. But both these guys are fairly neck and neck in terms of the number of units they have. And now Viper going to head straight back, probably going to get crossbow upgrade, the crossbow, and looks like BacT will want to do the same, although he is going to push out across the map. He has a pretty insane army right here, but then again, so does the Viper. And we may expect to see some lovely crossbow fights very, very soon indeed. Just going to speed things up just so that we don't have to wait until the action comes to us. We want the action, action to come to, oh my god, I can't even speak. We want the action to, we want us to come to the action. Do I mean that? Yeah, I do mean that. And, wow, I've got a huge army here. Huge army from both these players. And they really don't want to lose reason. Oh my god. Oh man, risk losing. I don't know why I can't say that. Risk losing their armies because both of these guys will want to get a crossbow upgrade, the board arrow research as well, because that's very important for both these guys. And board arrow is done for both of them, it seems, and so is crossbow, and that's all great for them both. But does anybody have enough for a castle yet? Well, the Viper's actually closer, and meanwhile the Viper's going to come in here. These skirmishes done for the Viper, and meanwhile BacT is just going to stick with their usual skirmishes for the time being. And oh man, we've got a huge army from both these players. I think a mangonel right here will be a great option indeed. So many archer units going to get taken down so quickly by one single shot from a mangonel. That would be very, very exciting indeed for us to see. But I don't know. We've got a siege workshop from BacT, and oh man, oh wow, BacT doing so much damage right here, just taking out 3 skirmishers so quickly, and probably destroyed, probably took damage. Viper took a lot of damage from there as well, which is always great to do. And all BacT needs to do now is just to push out with these mangonels and his army and try to push forwards into BacT's base, or Viper's base. My bad. And Viper's not really having that much luck right here on the left side either. He's getting completely, I think destroyed. I see some skeletons right here. And oh, there we go. And meanwhile, castle going up for BacT, and the Viper has no castle yet. My bad, wait a minute. The Viper has a castle and is creating Huskars right here, which is always a great thing to do. And he's got a few Huskars on the map right here. And BacT needs to protect this mangonel, or it will get sniped off very quickly. But no, looks like the Viper won't try to do anything unnecessary, but he will be trying to sneak in from the back, from the side right here. And we've got Huskars being created by BacT as well. Meanwhile, the Viper's huge army is coming towards BacT, and BacT does not have anything to do to really combat this. He's only got a few houses to try and, I guess, buy him some time, but apart from that, he has got very little indeed. A mangonel here will be great, or some scorpions as well actually, but he doesn't really have anything close by. He's bringing his mangonel in right here, and wow, a mangonel shot right here will be absolutely epic. I have to tell you this, but Viper is in, and there's only one mangonel to try and deal with this, and only 7 Huskarls. Not going to be able to deal a whole lot of damage, but oh man, wow, BacT losing that mangonel right there. Didn't really kill that many units off right there, which is quite unfortunate. Viper did manage to actually evade that, which is really good for him, but being hunted down by this Huskarl, probably going to get cleaned up right here, and the Viper just lost all his units. So that was actually a pretty good play from BacT indeed. And meanwhile, BacT is in the Viper's base, and looks like he's done some severe damage as well actually. Killed off quite a few villages, and with the mangonel here, these TCs are going to stand no chance at all. I suspect the only things worth creating right now for the Viper are Huskarls, which is what the Viper is doing, and BacT will have to G the B. The G to the B, he has to G to the B, otherwise he will get completely destroyed. And the Huskarls with it, wow. I thought BacT was going to kill his own units, he almost did anyway. But obviously Huskarls with their base pierce armor of 6, that's pretty good for them. It means that these crossbows are going to be doing 1 damage per shot, which is not so great at all. And it might take several volleys to just kill one Huskarl. And meanwhile, the castle's going up on the front for the Viper, and at the moment, BacT will be trying to get a new castle very, very shortly. He's almost got enough stone for that castle. Meanwhile, the Viper going up to the Imperial Age, which is very interesting because, well, this is when the Goth flood suddenly starts to come alive in the Imperial Age. And Viper's just going to spread across the map. He's going to spread his wings, and I think he needs a few more barracks, that's for sure. He needs a few more barracks, then he can really start to pump the gas on this Huskarl champion Halberdier Flood, which surely will be coming very soonly. And but the Viper's still in here, and he's got Huskarls to try and back these crossbows up. He just needs to come in. That's all he needs to do. He needs to come in here and wreak absolute havoc on the Viper. But the Viper's up to the Imperial Age, and BacT is still... oh wow. BacT was still castle, and these guys are getting completely owned. Viper's doing a good job at destroying BacT's army, and BacT is clicked up to the Imperial Age. That's good news for him, but is it going to be enough? Well, he's going to put up lots of barracks. He's going to put up a few more castles, it seems, which is always a great thing to do when you're playing as the Goths. And, well, it looks like we are going to be seeing a huge battle very, very soon indeed. And I should probably just... yeah, I should probably change the game speed right here, because Viper's up, and BacT is on 50% right now. I hear Treb. There we go, the Treb is going up, and this castle is going to be under a bit of threat indeed. The Viper's switching into two-handed swordsmen, which is obviously a great thing to do. Two-handed swordsmen are a great counter to, or champion. The champion line are a great counter to Huskarls, that's for sure, because obviously that extra damage, I think, the extra damage and the extra armor they get is going to be very viable against the Huskarls, which only have pierce armor. And the Viper's just everywhere, it seems. Well, I say everywhere, no it's not. And looks like BacT is switching into long swordsman as well. Looks like you'll be going to go on that champion hype, which is always amazing to do. And it's very cool to see so many infantry on the map. You know, I've always thought that infantry were like the backbone of any army, but we never see infantry at all, because infantry in Age of Empires 2 is just so underpowered. So underpowered, but you know, if you're playing as Goths, what else is there to go for? Infantry, infantry, infantry is the way to go, in my opinion, and in everyone else's opinion, that's for sure. And I think it'll be a good idea for BacT to switch into some hand cannoneers once you get to the Imperial Age, because hand cannoneers are going to be so good against against any infantry because they just absolutely wreck them. They absolutely wreck them. Get wrecked, Viper. But no. Viper's pushing in here, and there isn't much that BacT can actually do because the Goth flood is coming, and my god, Viper has a lot of units here. He's got a mixture of both Huskars and Champions. Going to be destroying this castle with just infantry alone, and some trebuchet help of course. But apart from that, this castle is going to fall very quickly, and this one is going to be next. Lost town centre as well, and this is quite loud for me, and wow, my god, it's so cool. I just love seeing so many infantry on the map. It's just so cool to watch, and this castle is going to go down very quickly indeed. Probably just a few more, just another volley from the Treb, and that short castle will surely drop like a sack of potatoes. And there we go. It looks like this game will go to the Viper, and Viper's going to take this one, and that's very well played by him right there. And you know, once this TC goes down, I think it probably will be GG. I think BacT will have to say GG very soon indeed. He's got, wow, BacT has got nothing. And he's got nothing. He's got this tiny force of champions against like 50 champions and counting from the Viper. And Viper's going to lose, Viper's going to win this. And there isn't much to defend right here, because there's only a few champions queued up in his barracks, and BacT is going to have to say GG very, very quickly indeed. He just doesn't have anything for it. But the Viper's actually quite low on food, which is always not so great. And oh man, I just noticed how many farms these guys both have, and that's always very typical of any Goth player, because you really want to get as much food as possible just to sustain that infantry production. Because infantry in the end costs a lot of food. Sure, they might be quite cheap individually, but since you have so many of them, and since you're playing as Goth, you would want so many of them, then you will want to get as many infantry as possible. BacT is saying Dad gone, Viper saying yes, BacT is saying GG, Viper saying GG. So there we go. And my god, that was a pretty good game. I do love Goth games, and I do love it when the Tyrant teams, the Tyrant players play them, because this is just so cool to fun to watch. And I feel like BacT could have stand a bit more chance if he actually managed to get some hand cannoneers out and managed to repel this, because as you all know, hand cannoneers are a great unit choice to go with against any infantry. But well, he didn't really have that much. Although say that he had a ton of resource, so I don't know why he didn't. And well, there we go. And this has been NKZStryker Nathan. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and I'll see you sometime in the future. And I'll see you goodbye.